Thanks very much, Cecile, and good morning to everybody. So this is the Euroc project. It's European Robotics Challenges, which I remember that I gave a presentation in Vienna, if I remember, at the European Robotics Forum. So it's nice to be back, because the project is about to end in June. So it's like, it was originally 4 years. It's been extended to 54 months, and for a total budget of 16.5 million. Should I use this one? Yes, okay. So what is Euroc about? The motivation for the project started from observing that the European manufacturing industry, actually we are pretty strong in terms of using robotics technology in industry. And this is also because of many success stories of technology transfer from research labs to industry, and both SMEs, mid-caps, and big industry. You will hear later about results of the Safari project, in which also our team was involved. So the idea of Euroc was to favor and to announce and to boost this technology transfer using something which the Americans and in their culture have really nurtured in the years. So it's the using challenges as drivers for innovation. Of course, you heard about Walkman taking part to the DARPA challenge. So the idea was to create a kind of favorable environment here in Europe, and just to get all the stakeholders in the value chain to work together within this project. So we launched 3 industry relevant challenges back in April of 2014 through a mechanism of the open calls. For those of you who have been in the game for years, you remember that we had a project back in 2009 to 2013. This is the ECHOD project, which was a pioneer in terms of the cascaded funding. One of the open calls now is about digital hubs, and this is the funding supporting third parties, financial support to the third parties, and ECHOD was a sort of pioneer. So we adopt the same mechanism of the open calls and try to get more stakeholders to the project. Each challenge has been thought in 3 increasing stages in terms of complexity, and symbolically, only symbolically, the project will end with one winner. Let's take a look at the challenges. The first one is about reconfigurable interactive manufacturing cell. If I want to use the robotics lingo, this is human-robot cooperation, human-robot interaction. The second one is about shop floor logistics and manipulation. From a technical viewpoint, is mobile manipulation. The third one is about plant inspection and servicing. From the robotics viewpoint, is using aerial technology, so drones, quadcopters, and so forth. And each challenge involves the whole manufacturing supply chains within their own field. And again, the technology transfer is kind of boosted. So we organize 3 increasing stages in terms of complexity. The first one was just to get to play on a kind of normal, kind of uniform field. We carried out some benchmarking exercise, and this was in terms of a simulation contest. So we had the qualifications from the challenges. In the second stage, we were using some common platform. So we had all the teams, different from the previous ECHO project, for instance, in which there were 51 independent singleton experiments. The idea was to have all the teams, all the challenges playing on the same, in the same game, on the same cluster, on the same platform. So this is stage 2, which we call realistic labs. And then some teams were promoted to the final stage, and the experiments were taken to the field test for the real test, and also the idea is to ensure sustainability and adaptability. You will hear later about one of these step changes in the project by Federico Vicentini from ETIA CNR. Who is part of Euroc? We had a core consortium in which we put together research organizations, technology providers, system integrators, and altogether we provided management and organization of challenges, hosting the platforms, and providing the tools, and more importantly, supporting the challengers engaged into the 3 challenges. So we had research teams we had end user, we had technology developers, and also specifically for challenge number 1, which scenario was quite open in terms of human-robot cooperation, we also had system integrators come to the project. So on top of the core consortiums, we had the challenger teams. Let's take a look at the core consortium. We have partners from Germany, KUKA, Hashtag, who is part of Intel now, DLR, and IPA Fraunhofer. We have one British partner, Innocentive, and they are very much engaged into challenges in the US, and they have their EMEA subsidiary in UK. We have two Swiss partners, ETH Zurich, and a former Alstom Inspection Robotic, which is part of GE. We have LAS CNRS in Toulouse, in France, and we have an alliance of 5 universities, 5 southern universities under Create Consortium in Italy. So this is just to give you an idea of the challenges that were involved. You will recognize many logos you have seen in the previous presentation, you will see in the next presentations. So in a way, we were able to take just both big companies, small and medium enterprises. I forgot to mention that Euroc is also part of a European initiative, which is called I4MS, ICT for Manufacturing SMEs. And in fact, some SMEs were involved, but also like big research organizations like CERN, for instance, in Geneva, has been involved in one of the experiments. So let's take a look at the challenge chart. Those are the 3 stages which I mentioned. So we had the simulation contest. We had some kind of seed money to reimburse the work done during the simulation. And also we had one topical event, which was described yesterday in a workshop, in a specific workshop on challenges and competition by Fabrizio Caccavale, our scientific coordinator. And this was a brokerage event which took place in London, in which we really brought together all the qualified challengers from the simulation contest and the end users and the system integrators and the technology providers. And this was a matchmaking event which really worked out quite nicely. And the good news is that the teams were formed to work on the proposal, and also this was like an opportunity to really get new people to work together, which is one of the ultimate and most noble goals of European funded research, especially as opposed to research in the US. And to some extent, Asia is a sort of different, is a world apart. So in the second stage, we had the challenge teams, and they got support, 15 qualified. And the third stage, where we are now, it's in the final stage, in which there are only 6 challenge teams. But I can tell you that some of the teams that work in the second stage are continuing to work without our financial support, and this is quite nice. So what are in one slide, the project lures? Of the 16.5 million, 7 million went as available to grant money to the challengers, almost complying the current rule of the digital hubs, in which 50% of the budget must go to third parties. So in a way, we were implementing this kind of system. So compared to the American challenges, in which there's like one winner and one big cash pot for prize, here 9 teams have received 275K support in each in the 2 stages, and the 6 lucky ones will get in the end up to 500, almost 600K euro in the 3 stages. It's an added value of the challenge experiments because we're able to benchmark new algorithms on these first-class 3 hosting platforms. I forgot to say that the first one, the human-robot cooperation, is hosted by the group of Martin Hegele at IPA in Fraunhofer, the second one by Christian Ott at DLR, and the third one by Roland Sigwart at ETH in Zurich. So we had on board from the start the end users, the technology developers, and the system integrators. We have, of course, we assured open access to platforms, and it was a full scientific and technical support from the local host and the end user. And now, in the final stage, the test algorithms are being tested at the field. Financial support was mainly, the equipment was already available by the challengers, so mostly the money went to cover personal and travel lodge costs. The exercise of forming the challenge team was quite effective because also was an opportunity to gain business experience and also, as usual, great network of opportunities. I don't have time to go into the 15 finalists, but just I have one slide for each challenge. So the first challenge, which is challenge aimed at production, those are the 5 competing teams, and PIROS and FLAIR are the 2 finalists in the third stage. And you will hear something more from PIROS that we invited to this presentation. In the second challenge, which in one word is about logistics, those are the 5 teams that competed in the second stage, and RSA2 and Team PIROS are the 2 finalists. Actually, the work was recently completed last week, and so now it's a time to really report results and have a board of judges to select the symbolic Euroc winner. In the third challenge, it's about services. Those are the 5 teams that compete in the second stage, and Two Flyers, the team from Technical University of Munich with the end user, and a group of Anibal Olero in Sevilla at Catec. Those are the 2 finalists in the third stage for the plant and servicing challenge using aerial technology. So I leave the word to Federico, and you will hear just one step change as a sort of success story out of challenge 1.
Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. I am here representing PIROS team on behalf of all the people that during these years made a great effort to bring our solution into the field. We recently got the final deployment of our solution in the shop floor. So these are our partners, all the people involved. Just to give you a quick introduction of the use case, we are in challenge 1, the reconfigure manufacturing challenge, and we selected as the scenario the machine tool and machining sector, which is a primary economic sector. The impact and the size of the market is remarkable for Europe and worldwide, of course. The impact is expected to be high for introducing robotics in a relatively manual domain. A lot of automation is there, but collaborative robotics is relatively has a low rate of usage. And just to give you the quick overview, this is the system, the final system, where you see operators, a very skilled one, in charge of performing a lot of manual tasks that are kind of already. Yeah, a lot of manual tasks, heavy duty and complexity. So in a nutshell, the purpose was to introduce a collaborative platform able to support the operator exchanging tasks. So instead of having a fixed task list, robot and human could share and to reschedule dynamically their purposes and their tasks. And fundamental to this objective was the involvement of the end user. This is a key message from the project and from our experience that I'd like to share with you. First of all, you see here in the video the deployment of the solution on the factory floor. This is one of the end user performing their regular operations. The commitment of the end user has been great, and Giuseppe Fogliazza is our end user, and I invite you to follow his longer presentation in the industrial robotic track later this morning in the late morning session, because we developed over the years a shared vision about collaborative robotics into the machining domain, so to share and to free the human, to really empower the human with their added value abilities. So this is a very step change in the machine tool sector. I invite you all to listen to his talk later. But one important thing beyond the vision that we share with our primary end user is the involvement of our second end user volunteering to join the team for making available their facilities to be involved in the deployment of the application. And we spent several weeks in their plant merging our solution with the production line operational. I mean, a factory floor fully operational with the system system in service. It was not easy because if many of you have experience in integrating with the end users, you know that the real engagement, the time spent is not a common thing. In this case, we got full support, several days, several weeks of full support and cooperation in a noisy, productive environment. So it was a great experience to share with them a daily life of development, debugging, fixing, working, really hard work. Why they got us so much support? Because they really wanted to understand the boundaries of these applications for their purpose, and both of the end users. And I must say, concluding, that they are still working. After the demonstration and the field test, the end user got the solution back. They are preparing for being part of their portfolio for promoting this kind of solutions in their vision to the market. We will have several trade shows and dissemination of the platform to have in mind to keep it operational over the time. What we got, a very quick remark about the project, the pressure of the challenge was remarkably important for getting results, especially the metrics, quantitative objectives were very functional to get us on purpose and stay focused to get really deployable and relevant results. So the face value of the application is what is really behind all the consoles and things running. Thank you for your attention. It was great.
And so the final...
Last but not least, yes.
Yeah, the next steps is there will be the final challenge workshop, which will take place in Naples from April 5th to 7th, in which the results from the 6 finalists will be judged by an independent board of judges, international one, and selection of the Euroc winner. And the results will be showcased at the Automatica Fair in Munich, in which the actual award will be given. And there will also be a nice video produced with reporting the results of the project. So see you in Munich in June. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bruno.